Hey guys, it's the weekend and you know what that means. It's project time again. It's like we work all week and then on the weekends we work too. So if those of you who have a farm know that, it's always something. So in preparation of breeding that's going to come up in the next couple of weeks, we'll be putting our 2 bucks in with our does. I think we're probably going to use Master P for most of the girls, all except for Master P's mother, and Whiskey will get to breed her. So in preparation of that, we're going to try to let some pastures rest and move some things around. And you saw in our last video, we opened up a whole bunch more of these woods all the way back to the property line over to the cemetery. So we're going to move our 4 does that have do not have horns. These are our old moms that we purchased last year. These girls are like 9-10 years old. So we're probably going to get 1, maybe 2 kittings out of them. We knew that when we purchased them. But we've kept them separate because they don't have horns and they can't really protect themselves. But we're going to see how they do. We're going to try to put them in with our other girls. That way they'll have all that browse in the woods, and we'll give them a couple of weeks to get some good nutrition in before we put the bucks with them. So we're going to have to put the bucks in with them anyway, and they'll have to be together. So we might as well go ahead and move them and maybe give them some extra nutrition. This little shelter that Eric and I built for this pasture, now that we've built the barn, we don't really need that there. They don't ever even use it. So we're actually going to take it down and move it out into a field and put our little doelings in with that, and they can use that and then let another pasture rest. So come along with us. The first thing we're going to work on, this is the hallway of our barn, and we kind of just have it for storage right now. We had put this panel up and made this just an extra little shelter, but they can come in here or in the barn around the corner. So we're actually going to make this a little holding pen. In my last video, we told you we had a few little bucklings that we had withered, and we had lost 3 of them actually this year, 3 little bucklings. And we have a couple of more of the ones that we withered that have been having a rough time. We've been fighting the diarrhea. We gave them Corid. We have given them, after we treated them with Corid, we gave them new floor that the vet had given us, and that didn't help. So now we have actually wormed them. We gave them Sidectin and Safeguard. Can't find Valbasin anywhere. It's on back order, and one of our co-ops said that it was going to be after January before they could even get it. So who knows? But we treated them, and we're actually going to quarantine them in this little pasture, or this little dry lot here. Give them some extra protein, alfalfa and stuff, and see if we can't get them well. I gave them the little molasses recipe that you saw. So we're just going to separate them out from everybody else and give them this little spot. So we're going to put this panel up first. be able to come in here no more. Okay, so we put a panel up on the end of the barn here, enclosing this, and we have moved the two little withers in here. They're eating alfalfa right now. We got them some hay, water. We got them the sulfur block and their minerals here. So, as you can see, they have dirty bottoms from diarrhea. It's dried up on them, but they're still having bouts of it at times. So, like I said, he's eating some minerals right now. He needs it. We have given them the Corid treatment. We've given them New Floor. We've given them B12. We've given them the Sidectin and Safeguard, and so now we're just going to try to isolate them, even though none of the other goats that they have been with are having any signs of any illness. And we would normally would have culled these, but because of our business that we are starting up, we're gonna need all the goats that we can right now. So this is not breeding stock. This is just goats that we're keeping here. So if we can get them well, we'll keep them until we can get our numbers built back up. But you can see they're really liking the sulfur block. I'm sure that their bodies need that. But yeah, and they've also had copper bolus. So if anybody else has any ideas on something to try that we haven't tried that I've named, just let us know. This is the last that we know to do, is just isolate them so they're kind of right here and they don't go off. They're eating and drinking fine. We're just trying to get them they're from being weak and get them built back up. So yeah. So that was the first project of the Saturday. Now on to the next. Okay, now I'm opening the gate for Eric to come in the pasture here, because we're going to build some more fence and he needs to bush hog. Tippy, get out of the way. She thinks she needs to come in here, but she's not. I'm going to close her out. They think they... No, Ranger, no. No, get back. They come in here, Macy will have a fit. Macy will get you. So now he's gonna try to push loose these T-posts, because we're taking this little fencing down and moving it out. And the ground is dry. Tippy, no, get out. She come through the fence. I'm gonna have to go. I'm gonna have to put a board. That's what these boards laying here were for. He's hooked to the T-post with a chain, hooked to the back of the bush hog, and he's trying to lift it to get it to loosen up. one of them up. Basically running into it, trying to loosen it up with the bush hog. This old one, rusty one, don't want to give up. Even though it don't look like it's very far in the ground. About it. Okay, so our plan is to build the fence down to the pond and make a separate little paddock and let the back paddock rest, the one back there. So the little doelings that we have, they will actually have this front pasture here, and they got the little shed that we built over in the corner. Now I need to walk over here because I have a couple of the older does in with these little kids, which there's 2 withers that's in this little paddock over here, and then there's 2 little doelings. This is me love. She was our other old mom that the heat was really bothering, and she had to actually be wormed too. And I know, and we knew that buying these older does that they could have problems, but they are some of the older purebreds that has some of the original genetics that trace back to the bucks that were originally imported over here. So we felt like if we could get at least a couple of kiddings out of them, then we could incorporate those old genetics into our program. And we have 2 little doelings, and they're doing fine out of that group. And then hopefully we're going to breed this time, and we'll breed our buck to them. These were already pregnant when they came to our farm, so those are not from genetics from our buck. So we'll be breeding our buck to these little girls as soon as they get big enough. And so hopefully we can have some pretty good goats from that. What are you doing? Pearl. Y'all remember Pearl that had to have a coat last winter? She's one of the older moms that was had lost all of her hair when she had came to us, and she's growing it back. She's looking good. She's putting on some weight. She had lost some weight down, but she's putting it back on. And then Miss Red here, she's gonna have to have a copper bolus, aren't you? She's shedded some of her hair, and I think it'll help when we give her a copper bolus. So we're gonna move these girls in with the other girls of ours that has horns. Actually, I had to treat Pearl's head here. I don't know if she got in a fight with one of the other ones or what, or just rubbed it against something, but she was bleeding right there where that blue is, and I treated her earlier this week. That's one of the little doelings there. So I'm gonna try to get these two older moms if I can. I think the other one's in the barn. And get them back over here while Eric finishes up the bush hogging. But where he is bush hogging over there on the hill, that is where we're going to build fence today. Get these little dolans. They're looking good. That's Master P's daughter. She looks nice. So we're going to separate them out in preparation for breeding. This is one of the little triplets back here. This little brown one. And he has been withered. And he looks fine. He didn't get sick like the other two little withers. And then this is another one of the little dolings that we have. What about it? What about it? She's my little blue-eyed friend, aren't you? My little blue-eyed friend. That's Whiskey's daughter. You know, he has blue eyes. So, she's looking good too. So, all together we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. We got 6 little dolans. The other 2 little dolans aren't as old as these. And they're a little bit smaller. That's why they were over in the other pasture, that little pasture over there I just came from. But we're going to move them all together in preparation for breeding. Gotta get y'all out of the way. Y'all have to go by yourselves. You can't be with any of the adults. And our other issue is dogs. So this is Maggie and Macy. Macy is Maggie's puppy. She is one of the puppies that we retained. But I think we are actually going to rehome her and keep one of Sheba's puppies. Because we had kept 4 of Maggie's puppies to retain from the farm because we didn't know that Sheba was going to be able to have puppies. Well, now Sheba's had puppies and they're 100% Anatolian. We're probably going to keep a female from her puppies and then just rehome Macy. And then we have Major, Sarge, and Titus, and Major is actually going to go to another farm at the North Carolina Kiko Classic. We're going to be transporting him up there to another farm, and so we can keep a puppy out of Sheba then. And so Sheba is in that pasture by herself. We have her weaned from her puppies. We're letting that pasture rest. There hasn't been for like 2 weeks now, 2 or 3 weeks, no goats on that pasture. And then we're gonna get this fence built today and get these goats moved. All right, on to the next project. We have he has finished bush hogging, so before we gonna build fence, we're gonna try to take this little shelter apart. He's undoing the screws from the boards, and our hope is that we just flip it over and put it on the back of the trailer and move it. River's coming to check it out, see what's going on. Here are all the other girls coming over. So these are all our dolings that will be breeding. Some of them has already been bred, and we're hoping to have kids around Thanksgiving. Cece is one that's been bred right there. Wanda. And Millie right back there, and Spitfire right back there. So those 5 have already been bred. So our other moms will be getting bred. And if they are not bred, they will be getting bred, because we're just going to leave them in here with the other does when we move the buck back in. They're going to come scratch on the trailer. River, you're so curious. You know your name, don't you? River. River. She's our most curious goat. Here she goes. River, you gotta be horsefly on your back. You feel it, don't you? Come here, let me get it. Get. I wasn't telling you get. What about it, Cece? What about it, Cece? You can't eat the tire. Right here is the hammer. Wanda. Always into stuff. Okay, so it's after 3 o'clock in the evening, and that took longer than we thought to get that little shelter taken down and moved. We got it moved. We basically just brought it in here and dropped it. We don't have it set up yet. Probably just gonna wait till tomorrow, because it's already this late and we're gonna go cook supper. And it's hot. It's cooler, thank goodness, than it has been, but it's still hot. And Eric's give out, so we're gonna stop for the night. They've already been nosy. River's little girl is just like her. She went out, tried to climb on top of it. So we'll probably finish the fencing tomorrow. We have loaded the side-by-side down with the fencing, the post. So we'll probably put that up tomorrow. When we get that put up, we're going to move dogs. I know I told you that the dogs were kind of our problem. We have, if we're going to combine some of our goats, then we don't need as many dogs in a paddock. So we're actually going to have to put Max with Titus and Major, I think. And then we're going to move Sarge in with the bucks and the little puppies. And then Maggie and Macy will go with the little bitty Dolans. After we do that and we get the little Dolans moved, then we're going to close this off right here. We'll close it off and we'll open this right here up. We'll take this panel down. So the does, the big does, will have be able to go in either side of the barn. We're going to leave the divider inside the barn, but they can come in either way and sleep on either side. So, and then that will give us able to rest that back pasture back there. And you know, if a farm tells you that they don't have problems with sick goats or parasites, they're lying, because no farm is perfect. We told you we would give you the good, the bad, the ugly. And so part of maintaining your herd is rotating pastures and letting those pastures rest and letting the parasites have time to die off that field, so you're less likely to get a parasite load on your goats. So that's what we're going to do. It's been, like I said, shelter has been our issue. We have 54 acres here. We don't have it all fenced. We had not went off in the woods further just because we didn't want until we had more dogs, our goats to go unprotected in the wood, because we do have coyotes here. So now that we have dogs, we feel more comfortable and we're able to start adding more fencing. So it's a never-ending project with the fencing. So stick around. I don't know if I'll make this a part 2 or if I'll put it all in one video. Okay guys, so it's the next day, Sunday morning. We're starting early, which it's supposed to be a lot less humid today and cooler temperatures. So, but we're getting an early start this morning. Yesterday, we didn't get such an early start. So we're just gonna start right here, coming off from the barn. I've got the old moms and some little doelings locked up. And we're gonna start right here and start the fence. Okay, you can see how we came off the fence here from the barn. Eventually, I want to put permanent wire fencing coming off there and make like an alleyway where you can see Macy coming down. And that way we can drive this side by side up and down through here and have different paddocks divided off going through there, and then we can just open the gate to whatever paddock and let the goats come out and then go to the next paddock. So hopefully we'll have a building right down here, a little shelter, and build. And then that way we can have goats come into the shelter from this paddock and another paddock. We can close that off, so we'll have one structure, but the structure can share either paddock. So hopefully, you know, that will help with the need for shelters, and we can utilize it for more than one paddock and not have to have a shelter at each paddock. And that will enable us to do better rotational grazing, because like I said, our shelters has been our problem. When we first moved here, all we had is the old rundown barn there, and then we've built this barn. We're not totally finished with it, but we got it to where we could dry it in and have the goats a dry place in the wintertime. And so that's what our hope was. You know, we had a 5-year plan. We can't do it all within the first year. So slowly but steadily, we've had goats since November of 2023, and we've gotten this far. So I think we've done pretty good. Sugar had to come in here. So she went and laid down with Macy. I'm glad they're getting along, because we didn't know how they would get along. And of course, Ranger and Tippy had to get in here. There's Ranger. He's gonna lay in the side by side. So we've made it down the hill, and we're gonna connect down here at the pond. So you can kind of see this as the other paddock that we made when we made the breeding pen for the goats right over in here. So we could make 1, 2, 3, and then a 4th paddock back there, and it would be several acres per paddock. It was hard to film us working and get everything on video, and so we're finished for the day for what we're doing, and let me show you what we got completed. This is coming out of the barn. We can shut this off and shut all these pastures off, make a little lot there. But what we had envisioned was this gate right here. We can drive this side by side through this gate. There's no goats in this area. Shut that off. There'll be no goats in this area. And eventually we're gonna put a gate right here at the corner of these posts, and then we can drive the side by side all the way down. We'll have a shelter down there that will have access to both pastures, so that won't be a problem with our shelters. I can drive the side by side down there, feed everybody, water everybody down there, if we had these pastures up here resting for rotational grazing. Right now, we just put some temporary poly wire so the goats can't get out through there. And then we made a little gate right here. Put water for the goats. There's Macy over there, already in that little temporary shelter we moved. So we could actually close this little pasture off and have a separate pasture. We have the other pasture down there I showed you from the pond. It's where that tree is, and the little kids standing right there. So they have a couple of shelters here if we wanted to close them off. Right now we're going to leave both of them open so they can either sleep in here or they can sleep over at the other little shed Eric made. So that's kind of what we envisioned in our 5-year plan, to have all this complete, and we can do a better job at our rotational grazing. We moved the older 4 does that we had purchased last year that had their horns burnt off. We moved them in with our horn goats. They're doing okay right now. They were going to have to get used to each other anyway, because we were getting ready to put a buck in with them, and we were doing 2 separate paddocks of does and to breed 2 different bucks. So they're getting used to it, and they're able to both go in either side of the barn, and they have the whole barn now to go into. What about it? Titus, Major, and Max. We moved these 3 dogs together just because now that we have combined the 2 does, 2 doe mobs, and they have a bigger pasture to cover. We have Macy and Maggie in this paddock with the little kids. And then we have Major. We moved Major over with the little puppies for now. We still have a few puppies available. I have 2 people coming this week. I think one is going to get 2, and I'm not sure if the other one is just going to get 1 or 2, but we will, if that's the case, we'll only have 3 puppies left that are available to the public. I have another one going to somebody else, and then we're keeping 1, so that will just leave 3 left. So if anybody's interested, reach out to us on Facebook at A&E Family Farm. So even though it's been cooler today, less humid, it don't feel like it. It still is hot here to me, but So it's about time to go in and find us something to eat for supper and get a shower. So that's another weekend of projects here on A&E Family Farm. Thanks everybody for watching.